This is the long-awaited day of the inaugural flight for the Scatterbrain Kid 2, the P-38 that the Central Texas Wing has worked for 10 years to restore. We hope you'll enjoy it. We hope you get up close and personal and look at the airplane. And in just a few minutes now, we're going to cut the ribbon. We're going to have a ribbon cutting, and we're going to take off and give you a small demonstration of the airplane flying. First, though, I'd like to tell you the story of the Scatterbrain Kid 2. If you'll bear with me, I'll just read it to you here from the press release that we gave out. The Scatterbrain Kid 2 is truly a creation made up of many mechanical, personnel, and financial resources. The original Scatterbrain Kid, SN 435081, was owned by Regis Sermon of Lafayette, Louisiana, was sold to the CAF after experiencing an engine failure and crash on 19 October 1974. The Cajun Wing became sponsor to the project and located a second P-38 in Oklahoma owned by Gary Levitz. This P-38, SN 42104-088, was destined to become the Scatterbrain Kid 2. The Cajun Wing began restoration and managed the project until 1981, when costs and efforts were keeping progress to a slow pace. The CAF subsequently transferred the project to the Centex Wing. In December of 1981, and under the sponsorship and financial backing of Colonel John Stokes, restoration of the Scatterbrain Kid 2 began to pick up speed. Yet another salvageable P-38, SN 412260, which had crashed in Oregon in 1943, was airlifted out of the forest and transported back to Texas in 1983 to be used for parts. Even though 3 aircraft have been used to reconstruct the Lightning, many parts had to be fabricated from scratch, and many others were traded, purchased, or donated from other sources around the country. A suitable fighter nose could not be found, so the current L model bomb sight nose was fabricated and installed. The Kid 2 also sports a radar operator's rear seat characterized by the M model's bubble canopy used in the night fighter variation. Taking into account that the original Scatterbrain Kid was a J model, the Centex Wing can proudly display the only P-38 combined of models J, L, and M, and probably the only 3-seated Lightning ever built. The P-38 SN 42104-088 saw action in France during 1944 with 15 combat missions as a member of the 9th Air Force, U.S. Army Air Corps. Except for that, little is known about the military history of any of the 3 aircraft used in this project. Any historians, former crew, or other P-38 enthusiasts who can contribute information are invited to do so. Also, the Centex Wing of the CAF cordially invite any interested persons to participate in the Scatterbrain 2 project. Additional time and money is needed for 25 hours of additional checkout prior to being signed off for airshow status, when the Kid will be able to begin generating revenue for support. To contribute and to find out more about how you can help, you can contact any of the CAF personnel you see here around you today. All contributions are tax deductible. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to move right along here, and I'm going to introduce to you the Centex Wing Executive Officer, Colonel Bob Jones. He, in turn, will introduce our VIPs today.
Thank you, Lil. First, I'd like to introduce the Mayor of Marble Falls. Mayor of Marble Falls. The Mayor of San Marcos, Kathy Morris. Larry Gilley, the City Manager, Sea State. Sheriff Paul Hastings from Hays County. And Lefty Gardner, I'd like to introduce. He's a Colonel in the Confederate Air Force on our general staff. Lefty flew in the P-51. He lives up in Austin now. He's on our general staff in headquarters at Midland. And Hank Potter, I'd like to introduce. Hank Potter, he's a member of our wing, and he was General Jimmy Doolittle's navigator 50 years ago. And so 50 years ago, he was aboard the USS Hornet heading for west to get ready to launch against Tokyo. And we're very proud to have him as a member of our wing. And lastly, I'd like to introduce Sandy Sansing, the pilot of our P-38. He has a long story to tell. Come on. And we're in San Marcos, right? San Marcos.
This is going to be the shortest long story there ever was. Okay, my name is Sandy Sansing. I spent a little over 31 years in the Air Force, flying mostly fighters. Retired in '73 from Bergstrom, and we're now living in New Braunfels, Texas. Joined the Confederate Air Force in 1975 and have been flying quite a few different aircraft since then, so needless to say, I've really been enjoying myself. We, as Lil told you, we spent the last 10 years rebuilding this P-38 and finally got it ready to fly. So basically what I'll do is I'll be taking off on runway 12, which is the one just the other side of the haystacks out there. And I'll go up, make a circle, come back around, make a low pass, and then I'll pull up and come back in the opposite direction in a turn so that if you want to take a picture, it'll be a good chance to get a plan view of the airplane. And from then on, Randy, if you'll get the radio, if you want any more passes or anything, we'll do it. Anybody have any questions on it? Okay, glad to see you all here, and hope you enjoy it.
Before we have the ribbon cutting now, I would like to just say a word of thanks to the city of San Marcos. They are allowing us to use this facility, this old World War II hangar. We're planning to do some restoration on it. It's kind of a fix-up job, you know. And but we're thankful to have it, and thank you, Kathy and Larry, for allowing us to use your facility here. Yes.
Thank you, Lil. On behalf of the citizens, I want to welcome all of you here, but especially all of the Confederate Air Force members who've come today. We're extremely proud of the Syntex wing, and it's no secret that the city of San Marcos has pursued the Confederate Air Force and would very much like to have their permanent home here. If we can't have all of you, then we want to keep part of you. And I hope that you'll allow me and Larry Gilley to help you make this your home so we can keep you here comfortable in vintage style. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kathy. And now, Sandy Sansing, would you please step forward? We are going to have our ribbon cutting. After that, we will take off. The chase plane is the T-34, owned and operated by Bob Ayers. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had a request for a show of hands of men in the crowd that have flown the P-38. There are several here, I understand. Would those of you who have flown the P-38, please put your hand up. Here we go. Here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're proud of you. Congratulations. Thank you very much. If there are any other questions that we can answer, please feel free to ask us. TV station? Okay.
They're going to do, when you do the photo fast, it's going to be right here or out on the runway?
Out on the runway.
Lieutenant Lil Ayers.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to San Marcos Municipal Airport. We're going to try to keep talking down to a minimum so we can get this magnificent aircraft in the air for its air power demonstration. First, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Scatterbrain Kid 2, how it was built and so on. So if you just bear with me, I'll read the press release for you. By the way, how many P-38 pilots do we have in the crowd? Can we see a show of hands? Look at here, there's 3 there, 4, 5, 10, 17, 6. Any more? 7.
Where'd you fly?
Isn't this incredible? 7 P-38 pilots right here today. There's 4. There you go. Okay, the Scatterbrain Kid is truly a creation made up of many mechanical, personnel, and financial resources. The original Scatterbrain Kid, SN 4350281, owned by Revis Thurman of Lafayette, Louisiana, was sold to the CAF after experiencing an engine failure and crash on 19 October 1974. The Cajun Wing became sponsor to the project and located a second P-38 in Oklahoma, owned by Gary Levitt. This P-38, SN 42104-088, was destined to become the Scatterbrain Kid 2. The Cajun Wing began restoration and managed the project until 1981, when costs and efforts were keeping progress to a slow pace. The CAF subsequently transferred the project to the Centex Wing in December of 1981. And under the sponsorship and financial backing of Colonel John Stokes of the Centex Wing, restoration of the Scatterbrain Kid 2 began to pick up speed. Yet another salvageable P-38, SN 41226, which had crashed in Oregon in 1943, was airlifted out of the forest and transported back to Texas in 1983 to also be used for parts. Even though 3 aircraft have been used to reconstruct the Lightning, many parts had to be fabricated from scratch, and many others were traded, purchased, and donated from other sources around the country. A suitable fighter nose could not be found, so the current L model bomb sight nose was fabricated and installed. The Kid 2 also sports a radio operator seat characterized by the M model, bubble canopy, used in the night fighter variation. Taking into account that the original Scatterbrain Kid was a J model, the Centex Wing can proudly display the only P-38 combined of the models J, L, and M, and probably the only 3-seated Lightning ever built. P-38J SN 42104-088 saw action in France during 1944 with 15 combat missions as a member of the 9th Air Force, U.S. Army Air Corps. Except for that, little is known about the military history of any of the 3 aircraft used in the project. Any historians, former crew, or other P-38 enthusiasts who can contribute information are invited to do so. Also, the Centex Wing of the CAF cordially invite any interested persons to participate in the Scatterbrain Kid 2 project. Additional time and money is needed for 25 hours of additional checkout prior to being signed off for air show status, when the kid will be able to begin generating revenue for support. To contribute and find out more about how you can help, please contact any of the CAF personnel that you see here today, and they'll be glad to tell you how. All contributions are tax deductible. We do have a table with pamphlets and information just inside the door, and those folks will be glad to help you as well. The members of the Central Texas Wing of the Confederate Air Force, their family, and friends are proud of their achievements. Their dedication of time, work, and money has made this day possible. Their effort has played an instrumental role in fostering the memory, appreciation, and spirit of World War II combat aviation, and has provided an essential link to an important part of every American's heritage. We want to thank the city of San Marcos at this point for providing the hangar facility to us. At present, we are negotiating for a long-term lease on the hangar. We expect to have a World War II artifact display area along with the World War II and vintage aircraft. So please look around our hangar. I know it looks like it's a fixer-upper, and you're absolutely right, it is. And it'll take some time and money to get that done, but we're going to work at it. In just a few minutes, we plan to fly the P-38, but at this time, I'd like to introduce to you our test pilot, Colonel Sandy Sansing.
Good afternoon, and hopefully we'll have better luck today than we did Friday. So we're going to get it airborne today, for sure. Those of us who were not here Friday, I went into the Air Force in 1941 as aircraft mechanic, and in 1943 went through flying school to England, 359 Fighter Group, and P-47s, and then we switched over to P-51s. And I stayed in the Air Force for 31 and a half years, mostly flying fighting. Retired in 73, and went to work for John Stokes out here at San Marcos, and he only had 34 World War II aircraft at the time. And when he said fly anything you want, anytime you want, it's been a lot of fun. The 38 here, you say, Bill told you, we've been working on it for the last 10 years. We think it's ready to go, and we've got a good airplane. The man that started the whole thing is responsible primarily for having the aircraft here today is Colonel John Stokes, and we'll let him say a word here.
Well, thank you, Sandy. I look at that airplane and I'm very surprised because I thought surely somewhere in this world there'd be a fighter nose for it, but we spent over 4 years looking for a fighter nose, so we ended up thinking, by gosh, we're awful lucky just to get anything we can get. So we got what we got here. And I'm proud of my part in putting it together again. It's been many years of kind of blood, sweat, and tears. Make a list of the things to do and do all those and find out you've got another list just as long still to do. But anyway, it's done now, and I'm proud of my part in it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And John, for your information, we do have a fighter nose now. Right. It's sitting in a crate out at Midland, and they were trying to get us to change it over, but I said we get the airplane flying first, and then we'll talk about changing the nose on. But yes, we do have a fighter nose, and whether we're going to put a fighter nose or leave this one on, we don't know yet.
Thank you, Sandy, and thanks to you, Colonel Stokes. We owe you an awful lot. Okay, we're going to get ready to fly now. As soon as we can get the crowd moved back, or I think probably over this way and get the podium out of the way. Bill Towers will be flying chase plane in T-34-99 Lima, and Stan Kinder in his Navy T-34 will also be flying.
Okay, Sandy, start to roll. Red 2, what's your location? Okay, why don't you join up on me and we'll do an overhead break at my end. Okay, I'm starting a left turn. You can join up on the outside. Two, I'll join on you once you head on in and we'll do an overhead break. Fly on down the runway and break about 3/4 of the way down. Hold it up. Hold it up.